Just days after the suspension of share trading in the cruise giant Genting Hong Kong, MV Werften and Lloyd Werft have filed for bankruptcy. Trade unions are calling it a dark day for German shipyards as the shipbuilders become the latest victims of a pandemic-driven disaster in cruise tourism. For Genting, the crisis has meant more than $2 billion in losses. Meanwhile, 2,000 employees in Wismar, Rostock, and Stralsund may not get their December wages. The German government says it is prepared to provide aid to the troubled company, but that it has not received assurances from Genting that it will also provide financial support for MV Werften.
India and China are holding the 14th round of senior military commander level talks today. The talks are taking place at the Chushul Moldo meeting point on the Chinese side with the aim to resolve the friction points in eastern Ladakh. India is looking forward for a constructive dialogue, is expected to press for disengagement on all the remaining friction points. India has continuously insisted on de-escalation in eastern Ladakh, especially in places such as Depsang and Demchok, where a massive military build-up continues. So far, 13 rounds of talks have been held between New Delhi and Beijing. However, both sides have failed to make any headway in the talks. The 13 rounds of talks, which took place on the 10th of October last year, ended in a stalemate, with China not agreeing to suggestions made by India.
It may be hard to believe, but tonight everyone, including an infant who was in this mangled medical helicopter, is alive. And incredibly, no one on the ground was hurt.
I literally see the chopper in the sky, like right there. And so I'm stopped. But then there was a moment where I realized this is going to hit the ground. So that's when I pulled in reverse.
This man was driving his family in a neighborhood just west of Philadelphia this afternoon and barely dodged a catastrophe.
This is absolutely a miracle from the Lord.
A miraculous landing, witnesses say, right next to a church.
It's an absolute miracle here, what you see behind you, how this, and there's no debris, no wires down, no trees.
The chopper had been flying to a children's hospital in Philly, carrying 2 crew members, a nurse, and the infant. All 4 of them were able to escape the wreckage, even before emergency crews arrived.
3,000 Russian troops conducted live fire exercises in western Russia on Tuesday, including areas close to Ukraine. This is according to reports filed by Interfax news agency. The announcement of the drills came a day after Russia and the United States held talks on Moscow's security proposals in Geneva. The meeting did not reach a breakthrough. Interfax quoted the Western Military District saying exercises will take place in Smolensk region near the Belarusian border and in the Voronezh, Belgorod, Bryansk regions closer to Ukraine. It also said that 300 units of military hardware would be involved. These exercises aimed at practicing firing from armored vehicles and firearms, organizing marches during active enemy sabotage, reconnaissance activity, and equipping strongholds.
North Korea claimed that it has successfully conducted another hypersonic missile test under the watch of its leader Kim Jong-un. The regime's state-run media KCNA said Wednesday that the missile fired on Tuesday precisely hit a target some 1,000 kilometers away. It said the missile released its rocket booster after 600 kilometers of glide-jump flight, followed by 240 kilometers of corkscrew maneuvering. It also referred to the latest test fire as the ultimate test launch, and said that it confirmed the weapon's outstanding maneuverability. This shows signs that such missiles could soon be ready to be deployed. KCNA also said that Kim Jong-un stressed the regime should further accelerate efforts to steadily build up the country's strategic military power.
On the front foot, but still tripping up. Novak Djokovic comes clean with 2 major admissions. 1, he was out and about while knowingly infectious, and 2, his entry declaration did contain false information, unforced errors that could hand him a one-way ticket back to Serbia. The world number one says it was his agent who ticked no to the question about recent international travel, despite the tennis champ being in Spain, where fans wished him well ahead of his ill-fated trip down under.
Good luck in Australia.
Thank you very much. You're very kind.
In a statement on Instagram this afternoon, Djokovic said, "My agent sincerely apologises for the administrative mistake in ticking the incorrect box about my previous travel before coming to Australia. This was a human error and certainly not deliberate."
We begin this hour with breaking news coming out of Limpopo, where the death toll from a head-on collision on the N1 has now risen to 17. 8 other people, we're told, were injured in yesterday's crash after a bus collided with an SUV near Mokopong. Preliminary investigations suggest that the driver of the SUV lost control of a tire burst and then collided with a 22-seater bus. It's understood 11 occupants who were initially trapped inside that bus burnt to death, while the driver of the SUV was killed on impact. The minibus, we understand, was traveling from Johannesburg to Polokwane.